Hey, what's up guys? I hope you all are having a great day. Welcome to this brand new episode of our channel, and today we are going to work on Node.js API. Actually, yes, we are going to build a Node.js API. So we'll start with a very basic project here because I don't want to make any gigantic project and make you confused with that. So we'll build a basic API which will help us to calculate percentage, so which is just a mathematical calculation, nothing else. And also we'll start from the very basic, like we'll initialize a project and we will see how we can install some other packages with Node.js so that our life gets a little bit of easier. Open up your terminal wherever you want to create your project. I just want to create my project here, and for that I'm just going to create a directory first, and for that just type npdir apip, which stands for percentage. Great, we are inside our project, and here what I'm going to do, I'm going to open up my Visual Studio Code. So there you are. Here we want to create some files, and also for that I'm just going to start with a basic file. But before that, let's type npm init to initialize our project, Node.js project, and it will ask for some information which we have to add. So yes, we can go with package name, version, okay, description, you can say anything, but I'm gonna keep it blank for now. Our entry point is index.js, that's completely okay. Test format, let's keep it repository, we are not gonna work on that. Author name, I'm gonna add Jit Mukherjee. If you want to add anything, you can add, and if you want to keep it empty, then just you can keep it empty, no issue with that. So yeah, that's all okay. Yes, and yeah, so as you can see, we already have the package.json file here. Now we also need one more file which will start here, like index.js, which is our entry point. And yes, we have our index.js as well. Before we start writing our code, we have to install some packages to make our life a little bit easier. And so first package I need, so let's type npm install. Okay, so first package we need is Express. Okay, it's a framework. Then we need body parser, and also we need a nodemon. So let's set nodemon and body parser. So what Express does, it's it's a framework which make our life much more easier when it comes to Node.js. It makes our code much more organized. And for nodemon, it helps us to keep our server up and running. We don't have to close our server every time and open it up again, so it makes our life easier. And body parser helps us to read the JSON file, so JSON format data, we use it as a middleware. These are few packages we need to work with Node.js. And once the installation process is done, let's come here, and first let's see the package.json. As you can see, we have 3 packages here, also our main index.js and some test script. Now inside this script we need another comment which is start, and we are gonna say here nodemon index.js because that's what our file name is. Let's save it. Now inside this index.js we are going to write little code because we want to listen to the server. So for that I'm going to write const express require, I would have session here, express. Once we are done, then we need to initialize app. You can keep express as well, but we prefer to call it app as well, so let's call the express. You can directly use express and first bracket, but initializing it first is make much more sense. So here we have the app, then we have to listen to the server. So let's just comment it out section, listening to the server, or port, whatever you want to say, just say whatever you want to say, no issue with that. So app.listen, what we have to say here and here. Now what port you want your app to listen, I'm gonna go with 8080. You can go with whatever port you want. So then we have a callback function once we are connected to our server, and there we can console log. Let's see what we can console log here. Come on. And we're gonna say connected to port 8080. Let's save it. I hope it's visible to you. Okay, let me just make the font a little bit big so that you can see this easily. So size, let's keep it 24 now, we'll fix it later. Okay, so okay, that's too big, I'm sorry. Let's go with 18. Yeah, that's okay. I think it's completely visible to you now. So let me explain what's happening here. So first we are importing the express, and after that we are initializing the express with the name of app. You can use complete express first bracket dot listen, not an issue with that, but initializing it first make much more sense, as I just mentioned. So after that we are listening to the port 8080, and here we have a callback function which will be executed when we are connected to server. So just to check it out, we are going to run it, and to run it, as we mentioned here, node index.js, but we don't have to type all of it. We can just write npm start and it will take care of the rest. So let's just type npm start here. Again, you can use the inbuilt terminal, not an issue with that, but I just I'm comfortable with this one, so let's just go with it. So as you can see, we have the message here connected to port 8080, and our server is running on port 8080. So once we are done with this, I'm going to create two folders here. First one is controller, and the second one is okay, not inside this, and the second one is routes. So we need these two folders. I'm just organizing the file. You can you don't have to organize it, you can just do it in one file, that's not a problem, but organizing it make much more sense. So before I continue with this routes and controller, just to show you something, yeah, let's just create a route here. For that, let's type app.get. We can keep it the root path, and here we are going to declare a callback function, and here we can console log something like console.log. What can I say? Hello world will be okay, I think. Yeah, it's a get request, as you can see, and it's on the root path. So let's just save it and let's see what's happening. So as you can see, the server started automatically, and it's giving us the message that it's connected to port 8080, but we don't see this hello world on console. Why? Okay, so for that I'm going to open up my browser. So here is my browser, and here we are going to go to localhost. No, this is not 30, it's 8080 localhost, and we don't see any written, but we have this hello world on the console, but it's just loading, and it's gonna get crashed after some time when the request will over. So let's cross it. That's okay, no issue. But we can see the hello world, that means it's working. That's all we need right now. And we want to send any response to that request. So for that we have to type here request, then response, then next, and here we want to send a response to the request, and for that we want to type send and response.send, and here inside a quotation we want to send an HTML tag. Let's type okay h1, let's finish it as well, and we can hello world it, no issue. Let's save it, and we have it here, the port, and if I refresh this, you can see hello world here. But that's not our motto here. Like, yeah, we can send a get request to the send a get response to our get request. That's pretty much cool, that's okay, but this is not our main motto here. We want to create a percentage calculator using nodejs. So let's just remove it, we don't need it here right now. So let's save it for now, and now we want to create a file inside this route folder, and I'm going to call it percentage.js. So here we want to import express again, and for that I'm going to type const express equals to require express. Then we want to import the router as well. For that I'm gonna router and equals to require dot router, first bracket. So we have it here as well. Once we are done with this, we have to create some request. I mean, we can create some request using this router, and we will create a get request, and that will be in the root path. And here we need a controller. Of course we can create the callback function here, and we can just type it here again. Like, we can go with request, response, and next, and here we can just send a response. Let's call it hello. We can send response from here, but that's not our motto here. We want to, by the way, you have to import it in the index.js to fetch, to send the response. Right now we'll get some error if we try to call this. So let's just remove it. I want to use controller for it in a much more organized way. So for that, okay, I'll come back to that. Let's just first export it, or I think I should just, yeah, let's just create the controller first. Okay, so we are going to call it percentage controller.js. Great. And inside this controller we will be exporting the file. So first we are going to create a get request. So for that we are going to type exports dot get percentage, and here we are going to use a callback function, arrow function. Let's just console log it first. Initial route, yeah. Okay, so we are exporting it here. Now we have to import it in this percentage file, and to import it, what we have to do, so let's just first we'll type const, and I'm gonna say percentage controller, and it's equal to, I'm gonna say require, and here we are going to call this. Great. Okay, and let's call the percentage controller dot get percentage. This is what we are exporting here. If you check this out in this controller, we are exporting this get percentage, and here we are importing it and calling it. So it's completely making sense, not big deal. So we have to export this route, and we have to call it in index.js, and to export it we have to type module dot export equals to router. That's what we are getting here. And okay, I think yeah, we have to call it express. I'm really sorry about it. Express.router. Great. That was a big mistake. Whatever. So let's save it, and we have saved this percentage controller as well. Now what we have to do, we have to import this percentage route in this index file. So let's import it. Okay, so for that I'm gonna type const percentage route. Will be a good naming convention, I think. Percentage route, I think, yeah. This equals to require, yeah, we are going to this route slash percentage. I think it's okay, yeah. Let's save it. Okay, now what we have to do, we have to create a middleware, and for that we are going to use app.use, and inside app.use first we have to mention the route, and I'm gonna say home. I think it's okay, and then we have to add a comma. After that we are going to use the route we just import, which is percentage route. That's okay, fine. So if I save this, great, this is also great. Now if I visit this route, we should see this initial route comment inside this terminal, and we have to visit this home, and only then it's going to call this percentage route, and the initial route will be home. So I think that's making sense. Okay, surely. So here we're going to say slash home, and if I type this, as you can see, we can see initial route here. So yeah, it's working fine, but we are kind of done with this playing around thing. So now we have to get into the actual work, which is creating the percentage calculator. And for that we have to get into this controller, and here we have to remove this, and let's start working on the percentage. So great. So here we need few things like request, response, and next, and inside this we are going to create our algorithm, or we are going to create our logics which will help us to create the percentage. So for that, what I'm going to do, I'm going to say const, let's just call the number 1. So before creating the logic, let me tell you what's happening here. We are just finding the percentage of a number. So if I can mention it here, let me just show you, let me comment it out as well. So it's going to be a post request. Okay, so it's going to be a post request, and it's going to help us to calculate the percentage. So how it's going to happen, So if I have suppose I have a number, okay, so let's say 20 is the number, and here 20 is dash, let's say dash percent of 100. Okay, so the answer will be 20. Okay, that's making sense. No issue with that. But we are going to find this number here, and the number 1 is the number which we already have, and this is the number we are finding percent of. So we can call it percent of as well, the second one, and the first one is the actual number. But I think number 1, number 2 is okay, but you can go with any other naming convention you want. I just want to clear the idea here. I'm not much worried about the naming convention. So if you want to go with a good naming convention, which I already have in my Git repository, and yes, this code is completely available and completely free. So I'll add the GitHub link in description, so feel free to check it out. And here I'm just going to show you how it's happening. So let's suppose the number, this is the number 1. You know, we can add a number, this as a num1 and this as a num2. So let's think of it like this, and const num1 equals to, we have to fetch the request, and request will have a body. Okay, come on, requested body, and we are going to also say number 1 there as well. After that we need number 2, then we'll have to say const number 2. Again, if you want to go with a good naming convention, I already have it available in my GitHub repository, so I'll add that link in description, so feel free to check it out. And you can go with any other naming convention you want. Just understand what's happening here. You have to understand the logic, and you can use it anywhere you want, so that's not going to be any issue. So I'm going to call it number 2. Now we have to send a response. So for that I'm going to say response dot status. We have to use 200 because yeah, we want to see if we are having any error in the front end side, in the client side. That's also important. And the data type will be JSON, so that's completely makes sense. So output, there will be output, of course, and here we are going to write our logic. So we already have the number 1, and we are going to divide this with number 2, because I think you are not going to use any fraction here. So you have to go with the traditional way. And here I'm going to multiply it with 100, and after that I'm going to just add a percent sign, so that it makes much more sense. Just a string concatenation, nothing else. Let's save it. Great, I'm having some error. Okay, what is that? Number 1 is undefined. Well, is it because I'm typing get here? Let's type post here. Yes, that's what's happening for the get, because I can't request a body from a get request, so I have to make it post. So great, it's okay. So yeah, we already have it here. We have the logics here. Now we have to check it out if it is working. Now certainly I can't check it out in a browser. That's not gonna possible. So if I refresh it, cannot get home. That's completely right. And to test our APIs, we have Postman, which is a very useful tool. Let me open it up. And here I have my Postman, and let's see if it is working or not. So no, we don't want to add any to do 8080, of course. Okay, so great, come on, where are you? Yeah, what do we want to check? We have to find that in percentage, and that is post home. Okay, so home, and here we need a body. Inside body we are expecting 2 things. One is number 1, number 2. So here we are going to declare our 2 numbers which we are expecting here, number 1 and number 2. So number 1 will be 20. We have discussed it already. You can go with other thing as well. Just go with a good naming convention, that's much more better. But for tutorial purpose, I think it's okay. Let's agree to or disagree, whatever. So yeah, we have number 1 and number 2. Now if I send a request, hopefully, surely I'll get an error, and of course I don't know why, but I'm going to check it out. Cannot read property. Okay, this is a JSON format, and we have to call body parser to avoid this error. So for that I'm going to import body parser, and here I'm going to type const body parser equals to require require body parser, and we have to use this body parser as a middleware so that we can get this, JSON data. JSON, I think that's why we are getting this error. Okay, whatever, let's see. Okay, now we're gonna try again, and yeah, we have the output 20%, which is, yeah, great. And you can use the percent of and the actual number if you want to go with those types of naming convention. Yes, you can completely go with it. You can also call it A or B, that doesn't matter. Use whatever you want to use, that's completely okay. So yeah, now we know how to create a percentage calculator with nodejs API. And one more thing we can do here, let's just do that. Calculate percentage again, exports dot we are not going to say get percentage this time, we are going to say get number. So what we are going to do, actually, let me first type it out, then it will be easy for us to call it what we want to call. So this time we will have this 20 at 20, but we will not have this one, this number 1. So for that, what we can type here, get number. Let's just go with get number. I think that will be okay. Get number, and here we are going to have a request, okay, comma response. After that we are going to call next. You can ignore next, whatever, but I'm just going to keep it for now. And here I'm going to say const. We can call the percent. Let's just go with a good naming convention, percentage. And this time I'm going to say request dot body dot percentage, and this is going to be this percentage, 20 or 30, whatever we want to go. After that we are going to go with another const, which will be, and what can we call it, let's just say percentage of, we can call it that, I think percent of, let's call it percent of, that will be okay. And we are going to say request dot body dot percent of. Now if we want to send a response, we have to go with the status. I'll give it a 200, okay, not 2000, come on. Then we need a JSON format, and we are going to send the output, and the output will be quite simple, because this time we are just trying to find the percentage, not the the value. So for that we are just going to say percentage, and that will be divided by 100, and we're gonna multiply it with percent of. I think that's what we call it. Yeah, come on, yes, great. So it will help us to find out the if I give it 100 and 20%, it will say that 20 is 20% of 100. So that's why we call it percent of, and this is the percentage, which is the actual percentage. I think it's making sense. It wasn't making any sense, but this is making a little bit sense. But again, the naming convention is up to you. It doesn't matter. Just make sure it's working. Then we'll see. We'll go for the naming convention and whatever we want. Great. So hopefully it will work again. Okay, sorry, I have to add a route for it. And let's just see with this, and I'm gonna say, what can I say? What are we calculating here? Number. Okay. Number. I'm very bad at naming convention. So get number, great. Let's save it, and this time we are going to home/number, and this is percentage, 20 is okay, and percent of 100. So 20% is 20% of 100. That's what we are finding out here. 20, let's say 50% of 100, which is 50. Yeah, we are doing calculation. Great, you're bloody mathematician. Oh come on, no, that's not how we do this. Okay, to 50. So it's working perfectly. In this, if you want to be much more specific about your documentation, about your code, then you can add these types of comments in your code, which will be which will help you in future to understand what you wrote before. That's it, that's all it. So I hope you understood what I was trying to achieve with this video, and it was a fun video to make, and Let me know in the comment section if you enjoyed it, and the source code is completely free. I'll add the GitHub link in description, and let me know if you enjoyed this or not. And yes, please subscribe to my channel if you're new here, because I am new here with my channel. So I hope you enjoyed it. Have a great day. I'll see you soon. Bye.